You got 4 unreleased songs with Juice WRLD?
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
I think everyone has 4 unreleased songs. With
That
Juice
guy
WRLD.
made so much music.
He's a creative genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. He will come in and like.
What are you guys here for? Are you just here for?
There's a Chainsmokers show tonight at XS.
That's goddamn right.
Yo, I saw you guys, you and George befriending each other. I don't like it.
What? Yeah, Mike doesn't like me making new friends because he has such small amounts. He feels like if one leaves, then all of his friends leave.
Correct.
I feel him. I feel him.
Right.
We were actually talking about Oliver.
Yeah.
Tree?
Yes.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. That guy.
No, he's great. Oh, yeah. That guy.
You guys had a good week of content and everything.
Dude, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Did he really beat you up?
No shot.
No.
No. I took over his show. I showed him what a real performance looked
Yeah.
like. He's new to music and the industry.
Right.
Like I've been doing this, obviously. Like
Right,
you guys know. Like,
Yeah. Yes.
Are we rolling? All right, cool. Welcome back to Impaulsive, the #1 podcast in the world. I'm feeling a little downshot today, guys. I'm glad you came in because, like,
What's wrong?
We just started out so
no,
positive.
I know.
He's being a dud. He's
Nah.
being a dud. You ever had one of your friends
just
ever
an off
dud?
day?
He's
Yeah.
having a dud
Yeah.
day.
I hear
dude.
you. Well, let's fix that.
Let's talk
turn
about
this
it.
around.
Yeah.
You guys came in with the vibes, dude. You guys are on.
We haven't
today.
been here in like 2 months, so I feel great when it's
Yeah.
like you have that. You know what I mean? It's not usually we're here every weekend and you're
In
just like,
Vegas?
yeah, we're here a lot. But
You guys
this
have
is our-
residents here.
Yeah, but because it's like the winter months, they space us out and we do like mostly summer, and we've had a nice.
They have a residency.
Residency. But also,
No, they have a place here.
No.
No, that would make them residents.
No, they have a resident. You know, there's a thing that Mike and Logan do.
I
They
didn't
gang
do
up on me.
anything.
It's because of insecurity.
'Cause you're on
And,
a
and
separate
Logan's
couch.
already a dud, so he has to jump on every single little thing that I say.
Anything. Leave me out
No,
of
Mike,
it.
stick to your corner. Stay on that side. Let us adults continue this conversation. So you guys have residents here?
No, we don't live here. We just have a residency.
All right, so look, guys, these are the Chainsmokers. They're to my right, Alex and Drew.
Wow.
They are one of the biggest DJ groups in the world, if not the biggest DJ group in the world. And it's funny you say that. The last time that you were here was 2 months ago, because is there a chance that was when we?
I think it was. with
Yeah,
them
you guys
together.
were here with us.
Yeah.
It was like
recently.
January 6th or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
CS
Yo,
week or something.
Wow.
Was that when
We-
we went to the Rhino, or is it a different time?
Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
You and I.
Can
you
you
and
talk
I,
about
you
that?
and I, oh, I can.
Yeah.
You and I, bro, you're like my late night, homie. dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
my
We always
pal.
find each other in the after hours.
late. Like if there's gonna be someone that's making it to that like 5 a.m. 6 a.m. mark, it's
I
gonna
feel like
be
we find
ours.
like we're always in one corner, and then you find each other, and you just gravitate to one
Go like
another.
this.
Yeah.
Go
The-
like
just
Rhino horn.
Alex, just be careful because you stay out too late with Mikey, it gets dark.
It did.
It
that
did
night.
get dark.
Maybe you're the problem, dude. Also, you know your last name. Well, you know your last name.
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What?
yeah. Pall though. Him.
I know.
Yeah.
So I have a cousin named Alex. His name is also Alex Paul.
How is he? Cool guy?
He's really cool. He's got a mullet here. I'll show you a picture of him.
There's already better.
Oh,
than
yeah.
that.
You ever seen this kid?
Whoa.
Wait, which one?
On the right. What do you mean, dude? It's just me and him.
He kind of looks like he'd be like a UFC fighter or something.
No,
That's so
no.
funny.
He's well,
He looks like Theo on steroids.
It kind of does.
yeah.
That's a good.
People
Way
always
to
say
put
my
it.
last name is Pal though, which is very annoying because I feel like it makes sense, like P and then ALL. Like, how do you say all? Like all. So
Yeah.
it's just Paul.
Yeah, I have to spell mine out.
Do you?
Major hassle.
No, you don't.
I swear to God. I swear, because of people like you. I say Logan Paul, Paul.
Constantly at odds.
Listen, so you guys are great. We've known each other for forever. We've tried to get you on the podcast for decades.
We didn't have anything worth, you know what I mean? We were like dark for 2 years, not doing anything but working on the album. It just didn't feel like there'd be anything to talk about. You know, we wanted to give you guys the right timing, and now
That juice.
the time has come.
No, I read a little bit about it. You had the retreat in Hawaii that kind of would catalyze the new inspiration for the music coming up, right? For 2-3 years you've been dark.
Yeah, we left, I guess, like February 2020. And then with the intention of taking some time off to kind of refocus, and then the whole world took time off.
Yeah.
You know?
Which was good.
It was,
It was
yeah,
good,
I mean,
good for creatives, no?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Also, we would have just gone, like, everyone I knew that was on social media then just constantly got in trouble for, you know, being with friends or going to this place or that place.
Yeah.
And that's like the name of our game, is just getting into trouble. You know what I mean? And so it was nice. But also, literally, like 5 minutes ago in our room, my friend's like, yo, like, ever since you've been back on social media, like, I had no idea, like, you're pretty funny. And I was like, what? We've hung out plenty. Like, am I not funny in person? They're like, no,
did you buy
your internet personality's funny. I was like, all right.
Sick, fuck you.
Cool, man.
Did you buy a goat? I saw like a video on your Instagram.
Oh, so yeah, my girlfriend's mom, they're Swedish. They live in the town called Gothenburg in Sweden.
that
And
makes sense.
they gifted me a sheep. And actually, they gifted me 2 sheep, but they killed the last one.
It's like a sacrifice.
Yeah, like just like
it's
the
so
movie,
sad.
like Midsummer.
Yeah.
And I was stoked. So I'm finally gonna get to go visit them, and I was like, I'll get to see my sheep named Bad Bobby because they let me name her.
Nice.
And, Bad Bobby. And they're like, oh, that sheep's dead now.
Nah.
So
They
then
let you name him or her?
Her,
Sorry,
it was
I didn't
her,
mean to
yeah.
assume.
But they gave me another one, so I got a new one now. Actually, I need to name this one.
Something
Yeah.
tells me that sheep's not going to be around for long.
Yeah, I gotta get over there fast.
Swedes are ruthless.
Yeah. Have you seen Midsummer?
Of
obviously,
course I
right?
have, yeah.
So I was like just laughing because I was like, oh, we should like, we were originally gonna do a tour through there, so I would be like bring the whole like team through to hang out, and I wanted the parents to do like the scene where they have the grandparents on top of the cliff, and just like to mess with people and just be like, welcome, you know what I mean?
That scene was gruesome, dude.
Yeah.
But yo, when we did see you guys here in Vegas last time perform, not to sound like pretentious,
Wow.
but you blew us away.
Crazy.
Y'all are amazing.
Remember the time when like the DJ the tables like shut off?
Yeah.
And we were like pretty like, gone at that point.
Yeah, we were fucked
And
up.
I started like freestyling.
Freestyle. I think you
All-Star?
You asked
All-Star?
us, bro. You asked
yeah.
us. The music went off. The music
Yeah.
shut off at the club. You're like, what's like a good song that I can sing along that someone would like that I can do? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. You're like the music guy. And then you started singing.
I think All-Star, yeah.
Got
Like
the crowd going
just
crazy.
Yeah, and all, that song,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I've been playing that every single day for the past 2 weeks in the shower to get my day started positive. That
Really?
is such a weird. Why did you bring that song up?
I don't know. That's what we played.
That shit gets me going,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, totally.
See what I mean, dude?
What?
God, it's
I was
tiny dicks
agreeing.
versus big dick energy, bro. It's weird, bro.
The one thing I noticed about you guys is you don't fucking miss. You don't miss. Like, it's like, you know how you go to see a DJ set and like 3 or 4 songs will go by and you'll be vibing, and then all of a sudden they'll kind of have one that drops the energy a little bit and everybody's kind of like, fuck, why'd you do?
Yeah.
You guys just have like a way of, can you talk a little bit more about the selection process? Like who's responsible for song selection? Who's responsible for finding new music? Who's responsible for hyping the crowd? I know Drew does the majority of getting up and dancing and like getting the crowd hyped up. Like, how does that all break down?
I physically can't do that. Like, I physically can't get up on that deck. I think last time I tried to split my pants, and I was just like, that's it, I'm done.
Never again.
I'm not doing that anymore. No, I mean, it's funny. I just came back from this conference with a bunch of old dudes, and they were like, the question was like, what is DJing? Like, what are you doing up there? And it's not hard, you know what I mean? Like, at its core, you're literally just pressing play. But I guess, like, to your point, like, there is a lot of like reading the room and understanding what's popular. And we always joke about Vegas because like this place it takes forever for a song to reach here.
It's
like,
wild.
I've
Sorry, I can't
never
keep these
seen that
things on.
before.
I think
that was
a
actually the
go.
first time that's ever happened.
That was
Someone
absurd.
ripped them off your head.
A ghastly figure. Just,
From
Got a weird
Midsommar.
shaped
What
head.
does that
It's like-
mean, though? Why does it take forever to get here?
It's like one of those things where it's like, there'll be a song, and the most distinct one I remember is Mo Bamba. It was like the biggest song
In
ever.
LA.
And you look, it was everywhere. LA, like every college campus was like ripping it. And we're like, oh God, I can't wait to drop Mo Bamba tonight. And then you play it for 6 months, and it's that song that dips the energy, which is very unfortunate because that song goes so hard.
Yeah.
We
But people just don't know it yet. Like the crowd, like you got to imagine, like our show. Are you guys coming tonight? By the way,
Yeah.
Tonight will be fun because it's spring break. So this is like the 1 week a year where it's like actually young festival vibe type kids, which it's so fun for us. I mean, we played over 200 shows at the Wynn, like only.
that's insane. That is insane.
scary.
Does that ever
A
get
lot.
to you guys that you have to do that every night?
Absolutely.
It's so fun.
No, I mean it's the best show. It's the best place on earth. But at the same time, like there's that part of the day where you're just like, oh my god, like I'm like you got heartburn and shit, and like
Yeah, you got to be on.
yeah, you got to be on.
Do you guys do pre-workouts or just like Red Bulls? What do you guys do to keep yourself up?
I feel we just rip a couple tequila shots and
Yeah.
just get in the zone.
what kind of tequila do you guys usually drink?
Haha.
Thank you for that. No, but it's funny. So like, I remember we played Obama so many times, and we're just like, damn, this shit is not fucking working. Like, but you go to like LA, and it's like
It shuts things down.
And then finally we like played it one last time, and it was like the whole dance floor had been waiting for it for like. And you were
I
just
can't
like,
wait that you guys will be right with us when we play it tonight.
Yeah.
And
So
we'll celebrate.
Rockstar by Post Malone was like one of the fastest songs to go #1 I think ever, and we're like, oh, we got to drop that. That's gonna go off, and it was just like the energy just. So we kind of, I don't know if it's like more. We're not like traditional like hip hop DJs. I think in Vegas,
Definitely not.
we're definitely not traditional. Okay, yeah, we just
I love this back and forth.
Yeah, you just want to play shit that people are gonna dance to. That's like I think a good DJ understands that. And we're not. We maybe educate a little bit here and there with a song that we think is cool that people don't know, but for the most part, it's like in Vegas, everyone's just here to have like the time of their life.
Like we like people are coming to the Wynn is the best hotel in Vegas.
Yep.
XS I think is the best nightclub. We love playing there. People know who we are. They know some of our songs, but you got to know like everyone's there for a bachelor party or a girls trip or spring break or like whatever the hell. So they're just coming to the club. So it's like, how do we entertain everybody? And I guess like our formula is just go all over the place, play throwbacks, play EDM, play tons of hip hop, like whatever's hot, whatever was hot a little while ago, and just get this hot.
It is funny. They do this thing though, where they'll be like, "Hey, this guy just spent like $75,000. Like, they want to come up and take a photo," and you're always like, "Yeah." like whatever that dude needs, but
He plays like the Titanic song, please. You're like, what the fuck,
yeah.
dude?
Yeah.
Luckily, like we don't get a lot of requests. I feel like that people have learned that we just like you'll be like sure and they just don't do it. But it's funny because they come up and it's always like they're like trying to take the photo and you're just like I gotta play this next song.
Yeah.
So luckily there's two of us. And there's always it's a funny balance because this is a service city, like everyone is here basically to have the time of their life, and there's some host, everyone has somebody that's like working some angle, so I think we've got it down now. But
I have a question. As artists, you guys, I don't know how you guys act, but as a music artist, sometimes maybe dropping a song can make you nervous. But for you guys to drop other people's hits and then show somebody your new song, does that ever kind of get you fucking nervous? Because you're like following up with already hits. Does that make you nervous or not?
Yeah, I mean, playing new songs is weird, but what's actually been really great is like now that I'm singing a lot more, there's something to go out there and do and get people pumped up and like show them. When you're like dropping a song that you have a feature on and that's new that no one knows, and you're kind of just standing there and people are like, that's odd.
Yeah, we did that with Roses. That was like we played Roses in Denver for the first time, and you're like, hopefully this goes over well. You like play and like it's just not a vibe, but you can kind of tell. You're like, there's something there though. I don't know what it is, but like. Whatever. And I remember after we did that show, we went to Europe for 3 weeks and played like a bunch of terrible shows in terrible clubs.
Yeah, that was a really dark time.
This is just like the life of an up and coming. We were like an up and coming act. You just go wherever you can go, and it was like playing the 4 p.m. set at like Ultra when it's like broad daylight and there's like 15 people and that's
4
it.
p.m. is generous. We're talking like noon.
The noon Tomorrowland.
Yeah, exactly. And then I remember we came back and we had a set at Lollapalooza, and it was a fairly early set, but usually those are still ripping. It had thunderstorms, so they had to evacuate the festival and bring everyone back in, and so our set got pushed to like sunset dusk. And there's this great video where we play Roses there for the first time after like being gone for 3 weeks since the Denver show, and it was like the craziest moment ever. And it was like people always ask like if there was ever like an aha moment in our career. That was like, and Rory, who traveled with us a lot to capture stuff, captured it perfectly. And our faces were like, what the fuck is going, you know what I mean? And it was such a special moment. So it's like, it takes a while to get these songs out there, especially in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. Live events are finally back, and I am so excited. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, concerts, MMA, or festivals, SeatGeek puts tickets from all over the web in one place to make buying simple. SeatGeek is the absolute best place to buy tickets. We got the app on our phone. Coachella's soon, so it might be a good idea to start searching for tickets right here in the app. Where's the app, bro? That was your cue.
I was start over
Well,
one time.
that was your cue for
You
the
also
app.
keep saying searching for ticks, and I keep thinking like, what if I was in the woods and I got some ticks on me? Just keep going with it. Here we go.
SeatGeek is the absolute best place to buy ticks.
You can buy them.
Might be a good idea to start searching for ticks in the app. They rate every ticket from 0 to 10 to make sure you're getting a good deal. Green means good and red means bad. I got a good hookup for y'all. Use code Logan for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That is $20 off your first purchase with promo code Logan. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app. Back to the program.
The other thing about Vegas, it seems like too, is like it's much more of a democratized party scene. Like when you go to LA or you go to like Little Sister in New York, these are all the scene people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like they're like, not to be a dick, but they're generally a little bit ahead of the curve when it comes to music. Like they're listening for new sounds and stuff like that. So I feel like that's part of the reason as well. It's like a capacity thing.
100%. I mean, people. I mean, we're kind of our attitudes like if you're friends with friends, like anyone's welcome. I feel like that's always been tried to be our attitude with like anything. Like you guys came to our house party, or I think you came. I don't know if you were there, Logan, but it was like we didn't even have a door guy, and people were like, "Why don't you have someone stopping people from coming in your house? You don't know." And I was like, "Well, A, then you just end up with a shit ton of angry people outside." But be like, whatever. It's like, that's a better vibe to be like, are we going to get in? And you just walk up and you're just kind of like, I just walked in, you know? And everyone's cool.
Also a massive liability, but
Massive
I
liability.
try
I
not
was
to
going to
think
say,
about that.
that's
Yeah.
a horrible idea.
But the vibes were
There's
tremendous.
security guards there. They just like, we're not like enforcing
They're in
anyone at the
disguise.
door. Yeah, they're in disguise. And you know, for here, like I just got like a bunch of texts before this, you know, from different people we know. And they're like, hey, can I roll up? I'm like, send me names. And it's like 25 dudes. And I'm like, normally if we were in New York, I'd be like, I can't help you. You know what I mean? But like here, I'm like, bring them in. And, you know, I mean, that's bar tab
We
right
got
there.
like 60 dudes up in our
Yeah.
room.
Hell yeah.
It's-
Sick. Same with this. We got Caitlin and the girl you brought.
Yeah, raw.
And
Nice.
that's it.
Fantastic. We suck.
People think we live this glorious life, but just around a lot of dudes.
Well,
You do a good job.
don't get me started. Don't get me- no, but yo, seriously, the Chainsmokers parties
They're
and
fun.
events have the most girls at them.
They-
Always, bro. There's always,
It's all Drew over here.
dude. There's all like, if I find out the Chainsmokers are at XS, which they always are. Shout out Win, shout out Encore. That's gonna be a good night. Like, what is it? What is it about your guys' vibe that brings the girls out? Is it the music? Is it like, you know what
Definitely
I'm
not my
saying?
looks.
Please brag about yourself
No, but
now.
I do think, like, in general, going back to saying, like, our intention always, like, even when we were nobodies, was always just, like, everyone can come and have a good time. Like, everyone should feel, I feel like that's, like, if we had a superpower, would be, like, the fact we can kind of acknowledge everyone in a room and make sure each person kind of feels special or at least, like, on the equal playing field. And hopefully that makes, like, for a good energy, you know, attitude. So I hope that's why we have hot chicks at our parties. Certainly not the door guy that doesn't exist. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're very we're also like been around the block for a while, so I feel like you just know a ton of people. I have no idea, honestly. I can't explain this. Yeah.
I think you make like sexy music. You make sexy
Well,
music.
we learned that from Calvin Harris because we used to go to Calvin Harris shows, and we're like, dude, all the fucking girls are at Calvin Harris shows. And then I was kind of like, all right, well, if you get the girls to your shows, and the guys come and spend money, and then you know what I mean? It's like a cyclical thing.
So it's all part of like a master plan, basically.
100%. Yeah.
I look at you guys and I see people that make music together, colleagues, partners in the business world, but I also believe I see very good friends. And as someone who has worked very hard to balance a partnership and friendship on the business and friend side of things, we've been through a number of blowout fucking battles. Do you guys
Have you ever fist fought each other?
We got close once.
We fist fought each other like 3 or 4 times.
really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it used to be
Yeah.
like a once a year thing that happened, like the purge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
always like around the first,
Just the sound.
yeah. But it was I remember the first one was we were in, I think, like Mexico in
Mexico,
Puerto
yeah.
Vallarta or something with like another DJ. This is like a long time ago. It was probably like 7 or 8 years ago.
2013 or
Yeah.
14,
And this guy was like, you know, with us, and I think we were like leaving a strip club or going to one in Mexico, and like we wanted the front seat, and we literally beat the shit out of each other over a shotgun seat.
Yeah.
And the guy was with us was like, "What the fuck is wrong
terrified.
with you guys?" And there's a photo from way back of us,
Yeah.
like right after,
Covered in blood.
covered in blood,
Oh,
smiling.
y'all really went for it.
Yeah.
Fist.
Well, I have like a loose nose. Like it doesn't take much to get this thing going. So our fights look way more dramatic.
blood.
than
A
they
loose nose.
actually are. Yeah, a loose nose.
But no, I mean, I think what you guys are getting at. I mean, it's like we're very lucky. I'm sure you guys. I mean, how long have you guys been friends for at this point?
Yeah, we're approaching 6.
6, yeah. So we're about 10 years in, and you know, we always say it's like meeting each other was the luckiest thing ever.
Hands down.
Absolutely.
And you know, I don't know how it's possible. We're so aligned on just the way that we want to work, the way we want to treat people. You know, there's just like bigger ambitions, the things that, you know, we literally met, like, we met just on like a whim. A mutual friend was like, you should meet Drew, you should meet Alex. Like, he's DJing in New York, he's producing music and graduating. You guys should just hang out and have a beer together and see, you know, what you guys want to do. And we met. It was like the most basic conversation. It was like, I love Calvin Harris. It's like, what kind of beer do you like? You know what I mean? And it was like sick. Should we do this thing? And
then it was born.
Yeah.
That's literally,
That's
that
it?
was it.
That's
The
it?
next,
That was
the
it.
next morning, yeah.
But then we like work, you know, we were very aligned on like the work ethic and time it needs, you know, put in. And it's like we push each other because it could be like, I don't want to go to do this show. And then the other one's like, dude, think about it. Like this, and this. And you're just like, all right, we're going to go do the show, you know.
There's a level of like accountability, like, you know, we're always like, we're not competitive, but we always like motivate each other to just be better. And if one of you is off, the other one's on, and so you're like, shit, I got to live up to that
So
person
big.
today.
Extremely serendipitous and lucky. You are right.
Yeah.
It sounds like the luckiest thing ever because both of you sharing those characteristics that are extremely rare for one person to have is different. And you both have these same things that like
But even
make success. You both have
Yeah.
the it factor and you're together.
But even
and
the
found each
business
other.
stuff. I mean, I know you guys do investing now too. But it was like I remember he was like, we should like think about starting a venture fund. And at the time, you know, this is probably like 4 years ago. I was like, I don't even really know what the hell you're talking about. You know what I mean? But we spent time like learning and, you know, understanding, speaking to different people. And now we have, you know, we're on our second fund. And I'm so glad that he had this idea that at the time just sounded like extra work, you know, on top of our insane schedule.
But
And-
he's really fucking good at it.
But that's kind
Like,
of the
that's
point,
like-
isn't it? Like I would have never have discovered this if it wasn't for her, you know, him pushing us in that direction. And now it's something that I get like so much, pleasure from. So I think it's important to have people in your life that like push you and challenge you, and I don't know, keep it interesting.
It also seems like you guys know, and I guess after a decade, know where each other's strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And know, like, how long did it take you guys to get to a point where you were comfortable giving critical feedback to the other person and the other person accepting it without a lot of fight back? Because me and him had a long kind of growth period where, you know, our dynamic was much more imbalanced. We weren't two equals. He was fucking Logan Paul and I was, you know, a marketing manager from a furniture company, and he saw what I had to offer, but there was a power dynamic change. You guys being on an even level, was there a lot of trouble at first trying to figure out like, yo, I'm gonna listen to you, I'm not gonna fucking listen to you? Did you get into fights over that kind of stuff?
How would you describe that, like, from the beginning?
I mean, I think it was interesting
Because we kind of like instantly set into our roles, and
Yeah.
our roles have both evolved, personally, but also together.
like I didn't know how to make music in the beginning at all. I was just a DJ around New York, so I had shows. But Drew knew how to produce, and so when we started like making music,
Pretty
together,
bad music.
But
Wasn't good.
but like
I knew
you-
how, yeah.
but I, you know, I think it was like respectful. I'm obviously like know that I don't know shit really, but I have ears and taste. You know what I mean?
I have ears.
I think, and so like you know, you
Basic
offer
requirements for becoming.
But it's
getting
also
into
like,
music.
you know, you're an idiot. You're like, hey, could you change that thing that's like, it's like the, you know, the middle sound, like, can we have a middle thing that goes, you know, and he's like, what the
I'd be
fuck
like,
are you
yeah,
talking?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure, let me turn the middle up a little bit.
But over time you learn those, you know, those things, and vice versa with DJing. But I think we both respect, you know, what our skills are at. Like, and also at the same time, like, I think the most important part of any partnership or any like leadership role is just like not having ego. You know, I think that's the thing that kills every group out there, is when you start to think that, you know, you're better than everybody or someone's opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean we always agree, you know, or and someone that thinks they're right isn't wrong. But in that situation, it's like, how do you handle it after? Like, do you
being empathetic and being a good listener goes such a long. Those are the two most important qualities to like any company, any team. You got to just, people need to feel heard and acknowledged. And so like you might disagree about some stuff, but as long as like you know what you're saying is gonna like be listened to and considered, you can go pretty far.
And like to your point, what you said, like you coming from a furniture store, like I think that's something we like always look for in other people, not furniture store people, but like
What's a furniture store?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
At least the headquarters.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, shout out to all the store people too. Fuck.
but it's just like people that haven't had their shot yet that like should, you know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
like a lot of time when you look at people hiring at any position, you're always like, oh, that guy's like, graduated at Stanford and has this degree and this. But like we've always gravitated towards the people that are like way hungrier,
Totally.
and have feel like that this is their shot to finally prove something. And obviously, it doesn't always work out, but generally speaking, when it does, and
like
look at you now, you're murdering it. You know what I mean? It's. I think that there's something to that.
I haven't done as good a job as him at putting people. I mean, he's put so many fucking people on. It's like there's like have you guys found that there's like a certain amount of work? It's almost like a full-time job just to find people that you could put on and then manage the ones that don't work out.
Yeah.
Liability, lawyers, like all this stuff. And it's like, you always did a really good job.
But mine was always unintentional. I love you and George and everyone else that was in the circle, and it kind of happened by default. Did you guys ever decide to do the sign talent, start a label, and find people and blow them up?
That's one area that interesting you asked specifically that. That's kind of like a typical thing like a lot of artists do is start some kind of like publishing company or label. And we started a bunch of other companies, but I'm really, I don't feel great about the whole record label system. And the last thing I want to do is sign an artist that doesn't feel, and artists are also like very emotional people, and like there's a lot of ups and downs, and it's the most difficult business to make it in. And I think, when you sign someone, you're taking responsibility like to help them get to the place that they're trying to get to. And the last thing I want is some artist that we like that has a ton of potential, at odds with us or blaming us for like any shortcomings they might have, or they go through a rough patch and or they're mad that like they don't like the deal structure after 3 years and there's whatever. And you're just like, not that we would ever sign anyone to like a predatory record deal, but like that's something that I'm like very touchy with.
It's scary. It's scary to think about getting into business with somebody that you either like or very much respect their craft. Like it always, isn't it weird how like, even if you have the best intentions, asking someone, yo, let's go into business together, from when you're at a higher standing than that person from a business standpoint, you always feel predatory, whether like just a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting how the dynamic has changed though, because I think back to when like Eminem was signed by Dre, right? And then was 50 signed?
Yeah, 50 under both of them.
And so Eminem still to this day praises Dre and is thankful for everything, but I feel like that dynamic of people being put on now. People are becoming ungrateful quicker, and they're forgetting
social media,
and that model is no longer working, right? Because maybe it's been democratized by social media. Everyone looks to their neighbor and they're like, "He's doing it.
Yeah,
I can just do this myself." And I agree. That's why I haven't ventured into any sort of like. He was signed by me for a little bit, and then we struck it because I was like, taking a percentage of your friends is kind of
feels weird. Yeah,
it feels weird.
Yeah.
I think I think you're totally right, and I think obviously, all the new resources that are in technology coming to existence now is going to be really interesting to see like how that plays out in terms of whether you're a creator or a musician, and like how less you need from like a label, let's say, or whatever, in order to do your thing. I think like for us coming up as musicians, like it was funny. Like I don't think anyone ever co-signed us. Like everyone was like, "Stay away from us."
Yeah.
Really? Was there like some pushback?
Okay, so like our career started, and I'd say like phase one of Chainsmokers was with, like when we met in New York. I'm trying to make my shitty music better with the help of Alex. We're trying to figure out where we like kind of fit, and we did our first like thing was we did these. We went to Hype Machine, which was the first viral chart of the internet, and it was all like indie music. And we're like, none of these kids have remix budgets. Why don't we email all of them and like ask them if we can do a free remix? So that was our first thing. We ended up building up a little brand there that was really cool. We were doing the only people like doing dance mixes of indie artists. And we had
like shitty frat parties all over the country.
Yeah, and that took us out of New York City for a couple $100 a night to like we could do in colleges and like whatever. And so that was really cool. And then we're always making these really dumb skits that I hope aren't on the internet anymore. But
they are. Trust me.
Now it's just TikTok, which is so it's totally acceptable.
Right. I know now there's a format for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we made this song called Selfie as a joke, and it was literally to poke fun at the entire EDM world.
You remember this song?
Yeah.
Let me take
But
a sec.
first-
There's like a new trend going that's actually kind of cool. Someone sent it to me today where it's like, the girl is in the bathroom talking about how she just took a shot and she's going to throw up. And then they like block the camera and then they're like all dressed up. And then someone's like, you got to do that. And I was like, I will never. I was like, I've worked so hard to get away from this song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I just looked at this song, 600 million views to this day, and that's actually when I
on,
first
on Selfie?
on YouTube. Yeah,
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Well, what was
That's when
crazy
you
is
just
like
stop watching this.
It's so funny because like I wish people could like think about this song in terms of like how smart we were about it versus like the actual content of how stupid the song is.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we literally, so obviously you guys know Dave Gretman from Live, and
Of course.
we had like a show there, you know, and obviously he did not give a fuck about it, but we somehow got a show there, and we were like, what if we make a song for the nightclub? That way, like the blogs will post it, which we had good relationships with, and like Dave might be like, "Whoa,
Because that's how nightclubs work.
Yeah, and then we might be like,
People
Dave,
read blogs.
Yo,
and go
did
like,
you see the blog last week about Live? Dude,
But we
I
thought
have
like
to-
Dave would be like, wow, these guys went hard for me. Like, I'll book them again. You
Right.
know what I mean? And so we made this song in like 25 minutes. And I remember we were like, let's go get some tacos. I put it on SoundCloud. Came back, I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I was like, this has a lot of fucking plays on it relative to what like usually happens. And so we were, you know, and then it was like a whole exploratory process.
But then we're like, okay, shit. Now we're like, have this song that's bigger than Chainsmokers, but like labels were trying to give us $1 million record deals, and we didn't have any money, and like that was like a really weird thing to go through because then we have this song that doesn't sound like anything that we had made before or wanted to be represented by in the future. But like we're like, this could be like the lighthouse to like, you know, for fans, and they can come and then we can show them what we're really doing. But it was really hard because, you know, back to your question, like what we were saying, like the rest of the industry just was like, fuck you guys. They're like, this song is whack.
thought
It's
we were, like,
making
two
a
chicks even. Like, we
a
showed up to
mockery of
interviews
EDM.
and they were like, where are the girls?
All of
And
our
we'd be like,
idols were just
Where are the
like,
girls? Do not assume, first of all.
Yeah.
No, it's
Do the
okay
voice,
back
Drew.
then. This is like 20. When was this? 20.
this is 2014 maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, 2014. But like every one of our idols that we like looked up to that we were trying to emulate and be something like, we're like, nah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and that was really, really tough. I'm still dealing with.
They're like, you still
There's
made
like
that song.
There was like one specific moment that's like really bad where I remember they were like, yo, it's the American Idol finale.
Oh,
and this
yeah,
is like
gets way worse
10
here.
years ago. So like American Idol is like fucking massive at this time. And they were like, you guys go play your song on American Idol. And we're like, well, you guys know we don't play the song, right? We just hit play.
And it's one song,
It's one
so there would be
song.
no mixing or anything.
And it's not any of us singing or anything. And they were like, don't worry about it. It's a big opportunity. And we're like, I don't
And
feel
you just don't know any better.
yeah, like I don't feel comfortable about this, and like I don't blame anyone in this situation. They're just trying to maximize their profits. But like, I wish we had more self-esteem at the time, or you know, whatever. You're just young and impressionable. They were just like, nah, that's fine. Go out, press play, and go like take selfies with Jennifer Lopez and like Harry Connick Jr. and whatever. And
So
we're
it
like,
doing sound like a bad idea.
Yeah,
without
yeah.
seeing
But
it.
retro is-
It was way worse than you're
and,
imagining.
but so it went as bad as you can
Is it
imagine.
still online by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I gotta watch this.
And when as bad as you can imagine, what's really funny is we're like had another show after that, so we're like flying to Denver, and Drew just turns to me and goes, "I have a really bad feeling about this."
I think we done fucked up.
Yeah, and then the next day we're at the airport about to fly to Brazil for another thing, and you just see like Porter Robinson, who's like someone we really admire, just be like, "What the?"
He
fuck
posted
is
it and
this?
was like, "This is what happens when you don't say no to your manager."
Yeah.
And like by the time,
And the
then
plane at that moment is like, and we're just like, no, can't even defend ourselves. Like, and we land like, 10 hours later and, the scorched earth, like,
Damn.
we just, and it was just like, I think we spent like that entire 3-day trip trying to like respond to every person and be like, you don't understand. Like, we didn't want to do this.
It was a prank.
It was like so many lessons,
prank, bro.
so many lessons in that
Yeah.
story. But then roses came, so everything got better after that. But
You guys had did you have a serious show at one point? Like you would do like these little things on Sirius.
we
Yeah.
still have a
Alex-
radio
Alex
show.
still has one.
Drew just straight up doesn't do it. It'd be like Logan just never showing up ever again. And like I think like the station's just like okay with it at this
Right.
point. But
Why do you not do it?
I don't want to.
but the best part is for like a year I was like trying to get fired.
That checks out. yeah.
I'd be trying to get fired. I'd be like, "What's up? It's Alex." I'm like, "I can't believe I'm still have this fucking show. Like, I don't even have anyone to talk to anymore. Like, I don't know how to pronounce this next song."
It's a countdown. It's a countdown
Yeah, it's
show.
a countdown.
Right.
And it's so funny. It's gone on for years, and they will not fire me. And I'm so cheap that like, I mean, we probably make like $70,000 at the end, which is great. You know what I mean? But like in the scope of like how little effort I put into it, and like the bigger picture of all the things we're working on, like, it's like. But every year they're like, "You guys like we want to re-up you," and I'm just like.
At this point,
I'll do
they're-
it because like at some point you're like just Spearmint Rhino and you're just like this is the serious money, you know what I mean? You're like this is the
That's so funny.
Funny. I feel like based on that, like I wish there was a cult around the show. Just having it's just hilarious. You just going on there not giving a fucking shit about the show and talking about that you don't give a shit about.
I
the
go
show.
on like crazy rants.
It
I love
deserves a
how he's
cult
listening
following,
to
you
it
know?
but doesn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's like I have to pronounce it. Like, the DJs always have the worst names. You know, they like some have like 6 numbers that are supposed to be letters in it, and I'll just be like, "This is what the fuck?" I mean, like, I don't fucking know how to. I was like, and then going on a rant about the numbers thing is dead. You know what I mean? Like, let's stop using numbers.
Which
The
is
guys
also
at
funny
home
because
listening is
Yeah, and then I
like,
see a tweet like 3 days later being like, "You don't have to be such a piece of shit about it." And I'm just like, I played the song. So,
he's like, fuck you, I saw American Idol.
yeah, exactly. I was like, your shit doesn't stink either. Like, it's funny.
It's what, on 51 or 50?
I think it's 50.
Yeah.
We got 50.
It's not, by the way.
It's
You're
BPM.
100% wrong. No, it's not. BPM's 51. Bro.
Fuck,
You're
all right.
wrong. You're just wrong. Okay, so we make it through the aha moment, Lollapalooza, and we're getting closer to the haha moment. And we know that at some point you guys end up as the decade's number 3 most successful group, only behind Imagine Dragons and One Direction.
Crazy.
So we have a little bit more space to cover here. So Roses comes out, and then what happens?
Roses comes out. That like came out and the entire dance community was like, we're down with this, which felt amazing to us. We're still trying to like make up for Selfie at this point. And now we have this song, but like even when we made it, we're like, this is. I feel like we had this weird 4 years of career where we're out and like touring and doing our thing that we hadn't figured out our sound yet. We figured out like when we made Roses, we were like, this is it. And so then it was from there, Roses. And that was like, it was the biggest song we had ever had at the time. But like we went, oh my God, that was like a year of going to like every single radio station, 3 radio stations a day. Like, and we play the club at our university, we were playing a club in like, you're in like San Jose or Sacramento, or like Des Moines. Just like going everywhere, just begging people, like to trying to build a story to like convince them to like play your song. And it worked. Like after like 9 months of just grinding the song, the dance world really liked it, which obviously helped. And it got pushed like more mainstream. And then we delivered this record called Don't Let Me Down that sounded completely different. And I actually made this record because I was dating this girl who like loved trap music, and we didn't make trap music. And I was like, I can make a trap song. And we made this song, and we turned it in, and the label was like, this is dope. I just don't think it's gonna work on radio. And that one just fucking took off, and we won a Grammy for that song. It was number one on radio.
Why
for
are people always hearing stories about how the label is so wrong all the time about judging which? Like it's always the same story.
Yeah. How much time you got? Yeah, I mean, it's just like, look, no one knows, especially today. No one knows what a hit's going to be. The internet decides.
But isn't that what A&Rs are for? And surely if you're with the label, they're seasoned.
I think labels are important, and like having good teams that support the artist. We're a very self-contained project, but like I mean, it's really hard. I mean, we're in it now. We're releasing that. We put out our last song, iPad, out yesterday. Our second single of this new album, and you're like, it sounds like you pick your 2 singles, but you don't really know.
Yeah.
You don't know what, like, we could put out our album and like a B-side that almost got taken off the album might become our biggest song.
Goes nuts on
You just don't know.
TikTok.
Exactly.
I mean, there's probably a message right now on my phone from our manager that's like, what all he wants to do is to make like 15 different TikToks with all the different songs from the album, so they can like see the data of which thing is. But I'm like, the video is gonna suck, so it doesn't, like, I'm not good. You know what I mean? It's like it's a catch-22.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you are sitting on a hit, there are creative ways to reverse engineer virality.
Yeah.
I saw this one TikTok. I don't want to say exposing, but the song A B C D.
I know what video you're talking about. Yeah.
So there was like a comment. The artist was like, "Hey, what should I do for a song?" And there was a comment that said, "Yo, make a song out of the alphabet." And then she made the song.
But it was a label person.
The person who commented worked for her label.
Yeah.
It's an inside
that was
job.
clever marketing for sure.
Very
that
clever
was very
marketing.
clever.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the song obviously has that smash feeling to it.
100%.
And I'm sure when you have one of those, you're sitting on gold.
Yeah, I think there's just so many like factors you just don't know. It's like what's happening in the world, even. You know what I mean? Like
people for forgetting the alphabet.
Yeah, exactly. More than ever.
Dyslexics hates the song.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that song.
I mean, I know they were like we love Kygo and Miles and those guys, but like they wanted to put out like their song like Happy Dancing Feet like the day the like Ukraine war broke out. You know what I mean?
that
It's
was
like, and I know they delayed it. But it's like, you know, the world is crazier than ever right now.
Yeah.
You know, all the artists that had to like put out songs during COVID and like touring the song is such an important part of like spreading the energy and like you guys will see tonight. We'll play iPad. It will not be a popping moment. You know what I mean? But it will.
We're gonna do everything in our power to make
Like
that moment fucking.
you're gonna see us go
pop
like
tonight.
10 times harder during that moment.
Yeah.
But like,
we're really working this one.
yeah, but you know.
Gets on, rips his jeans. I'm like, oh, he was right. He does rip his jeans.
But literally, I mean, we played it at EDC Mexico like 3 weeks ago, and you know, especially to like a crowd of like 75,000 people, you're just like, I know this is gonna go over, but you just
That's
have
one
to
of the
like,
craziest festivals in the
Yeah.
world. This
Oh,
one.
that specific one.
yeah,
my
it's
God.
nuts. But you can tell there's just something that feels natural, and I was going through. I mean, I'm like one
I
of those people.
felt,
Like,
I felt good about.
I felt great.
I was worried about. I was like scared to play it. This is like a huge crowd, 80,000 people probably at our stage. It's further than you can see, and I felt really good. I was really nervous to play that song because it's not like a crazy obvious drop, and we have a pretty like hard set.
yeah.
But it felt right.
No, it felt great. I mean, I just before we came down here, I was looking. This is, by the way, never do this if you're artists. You're in like the deep subreddits of like EDM, and I was like, I just want to see what they're saying. And usually they just destroy us the last 3 years. But they were like very positive about this song. Like there was like maybe one guy who was like downvoted. You know what I mean? And I was like, holy shit. I was like, I don't know if this means this is a hit, but like, we're back, baby. Like, I was like,
You know who that guy that downvoted was, right?
yeah,
The
it's
DJ
George.
with the
No, I'm
numbers.
George.
He's like, I don't care. I never listened to this, so fuck this guy. It's DJ 9829498.
It is funny. I mean, there's a kind of a question for you guys. I mean, you know, I feel like maybe we all handle the same way where it's like you can get 1,000 compliments, but then you see like the one negative dude and you just want to like trip out about it or be sad about it or whatever. And on some levels, like, you know, we know Dave Portnoy well, and he's like kind of uncancelable at this moment, at this
Sure
point in time,
seems like
I'd
it,
say.
yeah.
And I was like, man, sometimes I wish I could like from an energy standpoint, like stand up for anyone who fucking says anything. But also I'm like, fuck, it seems really exhausting. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. You know, I think the best way is always just take the high road and pay more attention to the positive stuff.
That's
but-
you have to. You can't. I mean, dude, I think I hit a turning point where I started to ask myself, how does this person with an anime profile picture or a soccer player on Twitter, right? How does this person affect my life? Right. Like for example, after I put the book out, there's people who had stuff to say.
Oh wait, congrats.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Congrats.
But there was 10,000 people who had very positive feedback on how the book impacted their life, right? But there was this one person. I would get hung up on that one person.
Yeah.
And eventually I got into the habit of asking myself the following question. Your family has told you that they're fucking proud of you, which I'm sure has happened with you guys and is probably a great feeling for you guys as well. You look in your fucking checking account and you feel you guys feel really fucking good, but I feel decent, right? You look around, you got friends in your life, you're doing what you love to do, and you have a ton of fans and an audience of people that fucking love and care about you. So you have to look at that when you then see this one person who says L plus ratio plus you fell off.
Yeah.
And you're just like, am I
Yeah,
really
but
going to
if
take
all-
it?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
If all that fails, though, what you do is you go to
That's
that
such a good
person,
comment.
you go to that person's profile, and then you find their girlfriend, and then you go to their girlfriend's profile and you follow her and you start commenting on her photos.
Oh,
and
you're
then,
petty.
see, I like
No,
that.
Alex came up with this.
It works so well too. You're not
like
like
that.
super inappropriate, but you're just enough where like the girlfriend might come home from her job and be like, you know, comment on my photo, something really nice. And it's like Chainsmokers did, and the guy's just like, what? You know what I mean?
Downright.
Straight to
And then he's like,
subreddit.
I just shit on them on Instagram. She's like, why would you do that? They're nice guys. And then maybe, you know, just something. Maybe, you know, I ruined his day now.
Oh,
Love that.
Yeah, no wonder you get along with Mike, man.
Have
I
you
need
ever
some more
like
of this
DM'd
advice.
Have you ever DM'd a hater back and you're like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, and they switch up like, oh, dude, I actually
Oh, yeah.
love you,
Always.
bro.
That is the
Always.
most classic thing.
Constant.
They just want to be acknowledged,
100%.
you know? And then they're like, dude, I really didn't mean that. I can't believe you saw that. Yo, also, can you listen to my song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
So
It's just crazy because I feel like, I mean, in high school, you know, it's like the same thing. Like if someone was like, you know, you wear a jersey and it's like a replica jersey and someone just gives you shit for it, and then you just feel like trash for the rest of the week and you never wear it again. And just like I'm amazed nowadays like how thick a skin you have to because like these things would have destroyed me in like in high school or whatever. And now you kind of just like someone says something mean and you're just like, I wish, like literally waking out of bed in the morning drinking like an espresso and it's just like, you are a disgusting piece of shit and your music sucks and you're ugly. And you're like, oh, nice. All right. That's nice.
That's exactly.
So you go see what's going on the economic side of the world. Like, I don't know. But I want to try this. Can I try this right now?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, drink.
I'm seeing this everywhere. Not this flavor?
Is that the one?
What flavor are you inclined to?
I would probably try the lemon. What's that one?
This is blue raspberry.
Is that
I'd
your
love
favorite?
to see you guys pop that
Tropical
red.
Punch.
The red would be a good.
Tropical Punch is my favorite. It's you know why it's universal.
Yeah.
It works for everything.
Slime. It's no slime, but I'm excited to try it.
That's fucking
Drink slime.
hilarious.
Drink
I
slime.
absolutely love you for saying that.
Can I try this one?
By the way, me and Oliver are working on that project pretty heavily together.
Nice. Can I invest?
100%. I'd
Amazing.
love to talk to you guys
Yeah.
after the show if possible.
Drink pride.
Good.
What is this?
Hey, that's the best reaction I've ever seen. Just nice. All right, this is a good
Hey, so
drink.
this is a hydration beverage. This
Okay.
is the Gatorade killer.
Gluten free.
Okay.
Gluten free.
I was worried about that.
10% coconut water.
Yeah.
850 milligrams BCAAs.
Okay.
850 milligrams electrolytes. 250 milligrams BCAAs. 25 calories. 2 grams of sugar.
Can we mix this with tequila?
Should this be the drink tonight? Haha.
So
I'm
this is okay.
So-
So I'm glad. So everything.
I have to be careful, but
yeah, but yes.
So when we're on tour, I would mix this with tequila. Like we're not about like I'm not trying to drink margaritas or any like fancy thing. I'm a
Right.
utility drinker when we're on tour. I need something that's gonna get me through the night with the.
And hydrate you, and calories are low. It's
You and KSI at the supermarket, and the guy's like, "Can I tell you about the NFT thing to buy?" And you're like, "No,
get the fuck out of here. I'm not here for it.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I won't have the NFT conversations. I'm sorry. I won't
it's
entertain
too
them.
much.
It's too much. And so if my universal rule is fuck off, and I just uphold that standard, it makes it a lot easier for me to say no. I don't like
it's
saying
like you're
no.
not getting. Everyone's getting told this.
Yeah,
you're not special.
no.
Yeah,
Bro, close friends.
Yeah.
Well, I just told one of the guys in this room this story. Close friends. Hey man, invest in my and I just send him the link to that video.
You're like, check your phone. He pulls it up, has to watch the video.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay.
my bad.
My bad, bro. Always ask though. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there. But if you are willing to put yourself out there, you also have to be willing to be rejected on a very harsh level.
100%.
Tell me about it.
I have I have great friends from the past, but like some of them, they reach out with their new ventures, and I'm always down to look and give constructive feedback. Like I think that's like what you're coming to me for initially. It's not hopefully not the check, and if it's great, then I would invest. But 99% of the time, it's just not a great idea, and you feel guilty, of course. But it's like that's just life. I don't know. There's no handouts.
well, there's not as many. Yeah, there's definitely not as many good ideas as are terrible fucking ideas.
Hell no.
I think I know who you're talking about, and I was in the elevator, and he was with me coming up. And
Was it
Benny
Diplo?
Blanco came, and
was
I
it?
was like, Benny, the first thing I said, I love how you keep shitting on Charlie, keep doing it. And he starts laughing. We're talking, and he steps in front of me and goes, I want you to hear my girlfriend's music. I go, what the fuck? I go, buddy.
I feel like his girlfriend might be like Adele though, or something. Like,
Wait, what are y'all talking about? I'm sorry.
I think the NFT project that you were just talking about, the guy was like, invest in my NFT.
What about it?
See, this is what they do.
I'm sorry. I'm
See,
over
this is
here.
what
I'm sorry.
happens. See, Mike sucks up to Logan super hard, so anything he says, it works out. But if I say one thing, he's like, do you a favor.
I'm sorry,
Sit
bro.
on that side.
when you were gonna
Shut up, bitch.
when you were gonna fight the
Blanco
Island
get
Boys,
all
did
negativity, bro.
they even stand up for you when you were gonna fight the Island Boys, dude?
Barely, bro. Mike can't fight. He could barely walk. This guy's never won a fight in his life. What the fuck are they gonna do about it? I had to hire the Island Boys myself. Fuck, I'm all fired up now, bro.
Wait, I'm still so confused. You're
You
talking
are
about Benny
confused.
Blanco's
Don't worry, just stick to the
girlfriend, and now you're talking
negativity.
about.
I'll stay
what
here.
you talking about?
No, don't
Why
worry
did
about
Benny
it.
Blanco come into this conversation
Don't
in an
worry
He's in
elevator?
about
Vegas right now, though.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. By the way, the Charlie Puth thing is not real, right? That we got to the
I don't
bottom
think
of
we
that?
can expose that here.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it is real. He actually told me in the elevator it was super real. Shut
He was there too.
Well, like
A lot of people in this
okay. So
elevator.
Charlie told me it's not real, which I don't know.
Who could tell? Because like you would.
I was like, we actually have to ask Benny, Because Charlie,
It is
Charlie's
real.
like, yeah, we're totally friends, dude. This is all, it's all good, man.
Who, Charlie and Benny?
Yeah, they have a hilarious little thing on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Is it like almost as bad as him and Oliver? Because him and Oliver's
It's
dead
worse.
serious.
It's way worse.
No, but theirs is dead. Like I have to.
Oh, you
keep
got to separate them.
They're gonna fuck each other up, especially with this whole Slime Prime situation going on. It's
so
wild.
I'll
dude.
commit murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts. His CEO is shaking. Yeah, okay. Yeah, none of that can happen. Okay. NFTs. We talked about it for a second. You guys are about to do a festival.
Oh yeah, the after party. thing
After
next week.
party.
Yeah.
I have one of those.
Did
Do
you
I-
go and get one?
Yeah. Do I get to go to the event?
I think so. I don't. If we're being frank, like I don't know a ton about the company.
You got it.
I like the lineup. I like that they're friends of ours that are doing it,
Yeah.
and it's an easy play coming to Vegas. I hope it. I've been getting texts from people being like, "Is this Fyre Fest?" And you're like, "It can't be Fyre Fest because you're in Vegas." So like worst case scenario, you just come on back to the strip and everything's okay.
I think it's gonna be sick.
But I think it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. Who
Party's
else is
gonna
on
be
that
awesome.
bill again?
Leroy's doing it.
Leroy's on
A bunch of people are doing
Yeah,
it. Like
Bob
they got,
Moses.
they got a lot of like,
Yeah.
they went for it.
I
It's gonna
love
be
the
a fun
Bob
time.
Moses. That was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice.
It should be good. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, I just want to come out there and say, like, we're just artists on this. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the artists always are like, how could you do this to us? And you're like, I barely got out of there alive. Like, I remember we were booked. They hired us for Fyre Fest, and our agent was just like,
Something seems fishy about this. Like, the wire's not hitting the right way.
yeah. So we're like, yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
We didn't even get into Closer. I
That's-
feel like
that's what I wanna
we
talk
have
about,
to
yeah.
talk about it for
Yeah.
a second. I mean, is that Apex? Like, well, we don't want to call it Apex, but like, what did it feel like for that whole thing to go down? What did that feel like? For you
Really,
guys?
really bizarre. We have just the weirdest career. Every song is like almost never happened. Closer, I wrote. It was the first song that I really like wrote like all the lyrics to. In the past, we'd work with writers or we were just producing the records, and then we'd work with someone like Emily Warren, who we work with all the time, as one of our best friends, and they would do lyrics. And this is the first time I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try it. So I wrote this song, and I kind of like wrote the words down earlier on waiting to take off on some plane, and the basis of it, and then I made the beat with do you know Louis the Child?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so Freddie, they're amazingly talented and just great. They make awesome music, and they were on tour with us, and me and Freddie just got pretty drunk after one show, and we made the beat to Closer, and I just had this feeling about it.
Sean was there too, right?
And the next morning, the next day, Sean Frank, shout out to Sean, was like, yo, what are you working on? And I showed him the song, and we like wrote, finished up the song, wrote the lyrics together, and then Sean was like, I was like, who's gonna sing this? And then he's like, why don't you just sing it? Like, you just, you just sing it just the way that you just like talked it out and wrote it. And I was like, I've never sang on anything ever before. And he's like, let me show you how auto-tune works. And I was like, okay, and Melodyne. And, a lot of that song too is me just talking to you like in this voice.
Yeah.
It's not like really that singy. And, we put it together, and still with the intention of having someone else be featured on it or sing my part. And then we just kept playing it for our friends, and we're like, this is so
This is
catchy.
good, yeah.
Like, and this is such an interesting, like, the lyrics are so weird, and like definitely nothing that was happening in dance music.
Yep.
They felt like kind of indie and like really like small, like about small details and like very, Americana feeling. And we eventually, like, I got the confidence to just leave myself on the song. And then at that time, Don't Let Me Down was like firing. And so, we were getting, instead of like begging people to doing features, people were more open to doing songs with us. And we were like, well, what
we're
if?
back to begging again.
Yeah, now we're back to begging. Camila had just left Fifth Harmony and wanted to do a record, and so we brought the record to her, and she liked it, and was going to be the feature on Closer.
She was breaking off. This was like gonna be her first,
Like
single
solo,
outside
right.
of the
Yeah.
group.
And then, and we love Camila. Shout out to her. But obviously that didn't end up working out. We also knew, like, we performed it at Coachella in 2015 or 16.
16, I think. Yeah.
We played at Coachella and we performed it, and Camila was still on the song, but she like wasn't around to like come out and do the feature with us, and so we just did like my parts of the song.
That is a bad explanation of that part of the story. She was like, "I will come out and sing the song with you at Coachella."
You guys should fight right now.
I don't care. She needs to. This is a messed up thing for her to
shit,
do.
here we
So I'm totally fine airing this out. And she just never came. And I think, and in her defense, though, I think she was hanging with Taylor Swift, which is a pretty cool thing to be doing.
Yeah.
But anyways, we were just like, all right, well, we'll just do the half of the song that Drew sings on, and
we did it. And the next day, I've never had a reaction to anything except for maybe buying a Bored Ape. All of her Twitter was just like, what the fuck is this song? When is this coming out? Tons of like video reposts, and we're like, yo, I don't know what's about to happen with the song, but it's gonna be something different than we've ever seen before. And it came out and just and then Camila ended up pulling up the song. Like literally, we were ready to put it out. We'd already like our fans already knew about it. We knew it was gonna be heater, and she just decided it wasn't right for her. And then Halsey like stepped up and was like, I would have never. I was such a big fan of her music at the time, and that was just ended up being. I couldn't believe it, like how it all came together, like last minute.
Perfect.
And yeah, it was just the fit, and we were both kind of at the same place in our career at that time, and just to have that song together then was, I think, really just it happens like once in a lifetime if you're lucky, you know.
That whole process was bizarre because then the song, it ended up being this amazing song, but I don't think we were like ready at all, just personally, for like what that meant, just in the macro sense of like
we're never ready.
Yeah, you're never ready.
You're
like
never
thrust
ready
into
for
like that
anything.
sort of spotlight and the way you give interviews and this. And I think we like also at the time kind of had a chip on our shoulder from like the selfie days.
Yeah.
But we were just kind of
still.
like fucking told y'all, but that was not the attitude we should have taken. You know what I mean?
God.
And we were always like cool guys, but it always felt like we believed in ourselves, but no one else did. And so instead of just being like humble in that moment, we weren't like not humble, but we were just, I think when we talked about it, we were always like,
It didn't,
you know what I mean? We didn't communicate ourselves
we were like
properly.
angry.
Yeah.
You know? I was like mad.
I get that feeling of being discounted out and then proving everyone wrong. You're like, yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like I knew the whole time,
But I think
Right.
that,
but now you're
that's
old
all-
enough to not be
you're like,
that
that's-
way.
yeah, who
you know?
cares?
Yeah.
But I think also like I'm not like proud of everything that happened over the course of that time. Like I think I love that mentality. I still feel like we have the underdog. I still don't feel like we've accomplished anything. I still feel like
the only difference is when you do it,
yeah.
just humble yourself.
Totally.
Cool. We're still
How
grateful.
is it
for
possible
Exactly.
that you could even say that?
I don't
How
know.
could
It's,
you even say that with a straight face? And like, bro, that song is one of the biggest songs ever.
but I feel like we just
Ever, bro.
I just feel like there's so many things that we would do differently in that event. If we could go back and I mean, everything's working out the way it's supposed to be, but
Right.
you're just kind of like, damn, I wish I would have handled that better or acted more this way or whatever.
Point me out to a celebrity or artist that goes globally into superstardom out of nowhere and handles it perfectly.
Frank Ocean.
But you know what I'm saying?
Damn, you had that one loaded.
But there's actually, because I don't know if you saw the Aziz Ansari stand-up thing he did recently where he's like, I ran into a Frank at a party and he was like, man, how do you how are you so cool and always doing the cool shit and whatever? And he was like, well, you just got to be comfortable saying no to not making money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like, and in a lot of ways, that's it's true. It's like if you are it's like we always want to go out and get it. Like I'm very glad that we were that way because over COVID, that we didn't leave anything on the table. It was like, instead of it being a moment where we were like, how the fuck are we supposed to survive? I just stupidly did this and didn't do that, and we took 6 months off to go fuck off and do nothing. We always just been grinding super hard, so I'm always grateful for that. But like on some levels, it's like I don't know if you saw like the Doja Cat TikTok yesterday where she was like talking about, she's like, y'all about to see me do this stupid ass Taco Bell jingle where I'm supposed to rap about like a fucking beef burrito,
A Mexican pizza.
She's like, just know it's a contractual obligation. You know what I mean?
She runs that
She's
app.
the best.
She runs that
She's
app.
really the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
TikTok belongs to Doja Cat. That's her
100%.
app.
And like, what a great way. Like, I don't even know how that happens. Like, if you're
Well,
getting
I
a
mean,
call
like,
from Taco
I
Bell
gotta
after that,
hear
or
it.
like,
No. That's the shtick. Taco Bell it, like sucks it up for a second. Is like, yo, this is the most organic, coolest way for us to work with this artist.
Yeah.
And by the way, you get the best product placements in marketing because of that.
exactly.
And if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be Taco. They have a supreme Not too soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Supreme fucking social media team.
Yeah.
I mean, Taco Bell's like, probably top 3, especially on Twitter.
100%.
So.
But I think being fearless in that sense, and anyways, just going back to it, I think just having that mentality of always feeling like people are underestimating you, like serves you better in life. Even with the venture capital stuff, it's like we went in knowing that people were expecting us to fail. And it's like, and I enjoy coming out and surprising. Like, it's nice to have a low bar. It's, whether it's in the bedroom or in, wherever it is, just have it.
It's a great mentality. So you get COVID happens. Now you guys end up taking some time away over the past like couple years. You guys have taken time off. Yeah. Do you? We talk about momentum on this show a lot, and it's his. Greatest. He describes it as the greatest force on earth.
Greatest force in the world.
For a person in the science world, whatever, momentum is very important. And as a social media creator myself, or for social media creators especially, we worry about the idea of falling off. It's always kind of in the back of your head, and I'm sure you guys feel that as artists sometimes, that fear, right? Is that it? I guess that's my question. Is that a fear for you guys? Like, did you feel like when you started to think about this break? Did you feel like you might be breaking momentum and that scare? Does that scare you?
I think, the timing ended up being weird with COVID, but like at the end of 2019, we weren't like really jacked up on where we were at. Like we were making music that felt like it was an iteration of what we had done before that was special. And, we're so proud of a lot of those songs, but like what thank God we're able to like, discover with, our 4th album that's coming out soon is, like we reignited what's like really exciting about the Chainsmokers for us and why we started it. Something we made feels like when we were making Roses and Closer and Don't Let Me Down, and it doesn't sound exactly the same, but it feels like really us and really exciting. And we've really innovated on our sound. There's so many like things that have elevated what we're doing with this next album, but still feel like it's the core of us. And we needed to stop it to figure that out. And I think, yes, there is some concern about. If you go away for 2 years and come back, are people going to care
anymore?
anymore?
The post button was.
Coming back to social media was weird.
On social media, I was like, where the fuck is the?
Yeah.
They moved
y'all
it to
really
like the top
disappeared.
No,
right.
they were gone. They were gone.
We were out, and then you come back and but I'm just so like confident in what we're about to put out. It's so us. I'm so proud of it. I can't wait to perform it. I can't wait to promote it. All of these things that I had like anxiety about before aren't there because like the music at its core is like. Exactly what I want us to be doing.
You're proud of
It's
it.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're proud. Exactly.
Why'd you come up with the name Chainsmokers?
It's not like a terrific story. I mean, I think like back, 10 years ago. Yeah,
best.
I literally just smoked a ton
Have
of
you been
cigarettes
sitting there
and
wondering that this whole time?
Well, you said bring it back to like where it started, and
Yeah.
that just kind of reminded me. I never really knew how you started.
It was literally just like there was like a show that I wanted to throw a party at, and they were just like, I don't want it to be like Alex. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, just come up with a cool persona, DJ name. And at the time, I smoked tons of cigarettes and tons of weed, and that's kind of like what I did. I just sit in my apartment all day, like mixing records, smoking nonstop. And so I did it, and I didn't think it would be like 10 years later on an Impaulsive show. You know what I mean? Like having to explain it. But I always like do often think like what I do if if God was like, you can go back and change it and everything seamlessly switches, like what would you go as? And I was like, I honestly, Chainsmokers kind of works out.
Yeah.
But we did have a lot of calls early on, and people were like, you got to change your name. Never
Some
gonna work.
friendly-
Some people wouldn't work with us. Like people in the industry, they're like, yeah, they'll never make it with that name.
They're like, you never play
There was an
corporate events or
agency that we really wanted.
I mean, are you guys
Events.
playing at Dare
Yeah.
events? Like what? Why?
I mean, we played
TGI
DJs.
Fridays.
He's
Yeah,
done cancer benefits.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
I mean, anything like corporate sponsor, like, we were like faces of Tommy Hilfiger. Like, no one thought that Chainsmoker, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
this name would be a part of it. So, I mean, I'm stoked about, what it is now. I don't know what I would
Give me.
change it
No,
as.
I need one.
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
one right now. I need you to give me one other option.
Oh, man, I honestly, I have never been able to come up with like a decent one. But
You
yeah,
don't have to.
I don't know. Go back to the relevancy thing though. Yeah. But no, I mean, just to add to what Drew was gonna say though, I think like one thing we've really said to ourselves a lot over the last 2 years was just like, let's just enjoy this process again. That's how it felt. We're very competitive naturally. You don't have to like point that piece of us out. We're always gonna be low key wanting looking at someone above us and being like, we got to take them out somehow. But I think it's more just about not actually like killing them, and just enjoy the process of putting a song out. Don't get like caught up in the charts or whatever. Obviously, you want your songs to be heard by everyone and be successful, but at the same time, it's like just we made music we're proud of, and we know we have fans out there that love it. So like be comfortable with that. And like all these songs, all these artists, like you said earlier, like you just don't know what's gonna hit. It could be nothing on this album, and it could be the first song right after that. I mean, we have like 4 unreleased songs with Juice WRLD. It could be all 4 of those could be the biggest songs in the world, like, or they could never come out, like ever. Like we have no idea. But I think long as you're just happy, like you said, we're playing in Vegas tonight. We're hanging out with our friends, like. Life is good. So just enjoy that process, I guess.
Wow. You got 4 unreleased songs with Juice WRLD?
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
I think everyone has 4 unreleased songs. With
That
Juice
guy
WRLD.
made so much music.
He's a creative genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. He will come in and like, I'll like, we want to go over this, and anything I'd play for him, he'd be like, yeah, I want to go over that, like, and right now, and he freestyle every song, and like line by line, he like say something like, okay, all right, run it back. We play it again. He'd be like, all right, here's the next line, and he'd just like go through it, and he'd do like this long stream of consciousness, basically this like one long freestyle, and then we just go and pick a section and be like, that's the hook. And take that, now copy and paste that here and have it happen again.
Nuts.
And he would come in and like literally like, I remember like one time I like ran out of beats. Like I was just like, and I just grabbed my guitar and played one chord, and he's like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, dude, I don't have this yet. And I had to make the
Yeah, let's go.
and I had to make the song on the fly as he's going. I'm trying to add stuff and like not break his flow and concentration. And I ended up being one of the ones that will come up. But very special.
Are those coming out on this album?
Not on the album. That'll be. I mean, you never really know what's going on. Obviously, like when it's posthumous, like there's a lot of people involved, and I know he's put out albums since then, and I'm just like, I know we'll get tapped eventually for them, so hopefully sooner than later. But I mean,
you need us to talk to Pete about it?
Yeah.
Pete knows.
Yeah, Pete
knows.
Pete needs to make that shit happen.
And also, he's it's an Interscope thing. I know that like it's nice. What excites me is I see his fans always being like, dude, release these 3. And I don't even know how they've heard any of these, to be honest with you. And it's cool. So it's like for us, we're just gonna keep doing our thing. When the time is ready, we'll be excited about it. But yeah, he was amazing.
Anything he releases, his team now, I guess, goes crazy.
Yeah, I mean, his fans are to this day probably still the most dedicated.
Number one.
Of any
nobody even close, bro. Not right now.
It's
nobody
crazy.
even close.
This
clip will go. Just us talking about this will go nuts.
What's that? I have like a folder, like on my desktop. It's just like Juice WRLD collab. I think there's like actually 5, not 4. And then you're just like, God damn it. You know what I mean? You're just like, it's just sitting there, and I feel selfish. You know what I mean? You're like, I kind of
you want to share it.
Yeah, you want to share it, but I know that's not the right thing to do, to like put it on the fucking blockchain and be like, ha ha. You know what I mean? Good luck getting that down. the wrong use of blockchain.
Yeah. You guys want to go nuts?
Yeah.
Let's go crazy.
Let's do it.
He's, by the way, I got to tell you the truth.
By the way, should we all do, I have a fun question
Yes.
for everyone here. Should we do first impressions
Sure.
of each other?
Yeah.
Because I feel like we all had funny, like we've all like observed each other.
I've actually met you guys at your house, and you don't even remember.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Who are you again?
I would love to hear that. But also, like, I remember when we first spoke, it was like, I feel like this is a long time coming. You know what I mean? It felt like we were friends. And then I kind of remember meeting you properly at some house party.
Yeah.
And you were super cool and everything. And it was just also that same feeling where you were just like, why aren't we friends?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
we probably should exchange numbers or
Yeah.
something. And I was like, I don't care if I'm the thirsty one that DMs you after, and it was like, we should hang out.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
fuck
Like,
that.
Yeah. But yeah, I was wondering. I'm curious if you guys. Had
I
first
met
impressions of us.
Drew under duress. He was under duress, so it was at a different. So this wasn't. I can't fault you for it. It was at one of your parties, and it wasn't a no security party. It was a very different vibe.
Was
This
it in his house or the
I
studio?
I think so. I think it was at the house, and so you were dramatically
Oh no.
like stressed out, and so like we
Is this when the cops were there and the paparazzi
this was
were
a
outside?
while back, and so like it was overlooking all of Los Angeles, and there was a lot of like big names, Rams
Oh, this was probably
quarterbacks,
Grammy
like
party.
yeah, it was like Grammy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and you were just super stressed out. And by the way, like I didn't really expect you to give much of a fuck, anyways. Like I just randomly kind of ran into you.
Yeah.
At the time,
I feel like you have a good sense of. I'm also like that, where you'll be like, I want to go say hi to that person, it's not the right time. You know what I mean?
Right,
I'm
right.
like,
Yeah.
I'll even wait 6 months to be like, I'll just wait for them.
Yeah.
But isn't it funny?
I'm
But isn't
wondering
it funny?
I'm wondering if like
confirmed
this
that
was actually one of our parties, or there was this one party where like all of these people were like, dude, you just like deaded me at this party. And I was like, that wasn't my party. Like,
Right.
Chandler
I
Parsons
don't
still
remember
hates him.
exactly what it was, but also
Oh no way.
but
Don't
also
even
like
get me
trans. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know exactly what it was, but also like transparently, like we've also had like a bunch of like random like little like micro things because of like
Oh, the name that should not be.
yeah, just because of like girls and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like not like specific or like direct, but like we'll be friends with.
oh yeah.
I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about or not?
I don't know. I can't really recollect any situations like that.
But no, but I met him, and so I had to overlook that. And then when I got a chance to,
We need to have a talk after this.
What a dickhead.
Well, one that we could talk about.
no, hold on, I want to finish this.
Oh, okay.
But then after that night, I got a chance to run into you at a more proper like time when you weren't super stressed out about whatever was going on at the party, and it was like day and night, and I was like, this is like the real Drew. And when I met you for the first time, it was like I don't know what it was, but like for some reason like we just had like
hit it
this
off.
click.
I remember
bro.
afterwards he was bragging about meeting you. He's like, dude, I really get along with that guy. We're gonna be friends.
Yeah.
Hang out. We got a lot of
Yeah.
things in common. and Drew, I mean, both of you guys, like you say you want to surprise people, and both of you surprised me. It's always a pleasure to meet someone who you really respect, who is also extremely down to earth.
Thank you,
And
appreciate
Drew,
it. Thank you.
I was and even now, just listening to you on this podcast, I'm just always thoroughly impressed with how like tapped in.
I feel like we
You
both
are,
kind of.
Thank you.
I don't want to say we're all like misunderstood or whatever. I think that's the right way to put it. But like, I do always feel like you get that. You know, it's like people are like. There's a good story, and you know, shout out to Chris Martin, amazing. You know, we've done amazing work. But I remember we were like always traveling to go to his studio in Malibu, and we were like, dude, why don't you come to like our studio? Like, we have a really nice studio. And he was like, I'm not going to come to your frat studio where there's like beers everywhere and holes in the wall. And we're like, what?
Our studio is filled with like the dopest art.
Yeah,
ever. Like,
yeah.
it's
And
like-
I was like, but that's kind of the impression I think that like on a macro level that people
Yeah.
maybe expect from us.
Yeah.
And they're not totally wrong. Like, we do fucking rage, but like, you know, we're also nice to nice guys.
Businessman.
No, it's
Yeah,
good
yeah.
because that impression is what allows you to keep surprising people. That,
Yeah.
and there's so much power in that.
I'm sure you get that shit all the time too. Just you know, you guys, you've had a pretty crazy career as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think when the gig's up, it'll be a little less fun. But like, you know, now it's cool to show that I can be dynamic.
Yeah,
And-
100%.
And you know, the more I grow and the more I learn, the more in my mind, the more like dangerous I become as
Yeah.
as an entertainer, and like literally, like I'll fucking kill someone. Like I said, I'm gonna kill Oliver
People always
if he mentions slime one more fucking time.
I feel like people like, it's funny. The question is like, oh, like, would you like, who would win in a fight? I'm like, it's no question, obviously me. Like, but when people ask me, like, is that serious? He's a pro fighter. Like, it is so hard.
People ask you that?
Yeah, people are
Yeah, people are
genuinely
literally,
asking.
like in
Why-
like interviews,
why?
not like regular, not like, you know, some
They're
girl
just like,
that's
hey, I know this has nothing to do with anything.
yeah, but you're gonna see Logan on Saturday, right? Will you fight him for me? Yeah.
But the one thing I would say on that first impression thing is it's kind of like a good lesson for people because you never really know like what someone is going through at like that
100%.
specific moment when you run into them for the first time, and it really sucks to know that people will write someone off like based on like a first impression. I would advise anyone to give people like a second, a third chance and really like
100%.
get a chance to like know them
100%.
because y'all are fucking fucking
bro.
awesome. dude.
Thank you.
I was with a girl and one dude, and this girl goes, "Yo, the Chainsmokers having a party. Let's go." And I was like, "Are you sure?" Because like guys, you know, they usually can't get in. You're with two dudes, and she's like, "No, trust me. So many people are there, you won't even notice." I walk in, there's 7 fucking people in this house, and I'm like, "Oh my god."
Was it
It was you guys,
Oh.
and you come immediately like, "Yo, do you want a drink?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And then I say, "Wow, what a beautiful house!" And then you gave me a house tour of your whole house, and then you took me to your recording studio, which may I say, very nice recording studio. And it wasn't even built yet. You're like, "So what I'm imagining here is," and I was like, "What a
That's sick.
sweet guy!"
That's
You
sick.
even took us to the backyard, and I was like, "Wow, this is such a." And you were petting a dog. I don't know if it was your turned up. I walked away and I was
That
just
was one
like
of the
playing your
sheep.
music with
The
enjoyment.
party sucked, but those guys were awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't a fucking party. There wasn't even music playing. But
That's
it was
great.
a great first introduction.
I love
great.
that. But I do think that's like, it's like it doesn't take a lot to just be nice. You know what I mean? Off the bat. Like obviously sometimes you're just stressed out. You're like, not right this second. But generally I feel like people could just do a better job. Just it's so little to just make someone feel welcome. And then the whole energy of that night is far better. Versus like going in and someone like big timing you or whatever. And it's just like, cool, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice.
Wow.
Wow.
You guys want to go crazy?
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
let's
Let's
go
go do
crazy.
things. Let's
Let's
keep
go
this
do-
energy going. Guys, thanks for coming on Impulsive.
Appreciate
Appreciate
having
it.
us.
Yeah,
having us.
yeah,
Hell
this was
yeah.
awesome, guys. Go stream their new song iPad. Keep an eye out for their album number 4. Do we know the name yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But before summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tours.
We're always touring.
We'll be around. Yeah. You want to see us?
Just pay the fuck attention to the Chainsmokers.
Drink some
Come see 'em in
goddamn
Vegas.
prime, all
Drink
right?
some
Drink some
fucking
fucking
prime.
prime, not slime. Prime.
Hit that subscribe button. We love you. Thank you for watching Impulsive. We'll see you next time. Peace.